Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here, week 6. It's college football action. Hey, we've had a lot of the games are starting to kick up now. We've had Bama, Georgia. You had the Missouri scare with Vandy, of all people. Vandy still out here playing football. Hey, proud of them. Welcome to the party. Um, we got a lot going on. A lot of teams coming off of buys from last week. But hey, we're gonna get into this first game. We got A&M at home taking on Missouri. This is probably one of the more intriguing matchups of the weekend. It's a top 25 matchup. Missouri coming off their scare a couple weeks ago with Vandy. A&M is actually a 2.5 point favorite as we're recording this on Wednesday. Um, I tell you, in my opinion, I think this is the game. We've been talking about it all year about when is Missouri finally going to, take that loss and come back to reality and everything kind of falls apart. They have not looked the same. Cook has not looked the same back there at quarterback. He doesn't look as comfortable as he did in this system than he did in his last system. The receivers aren't really popping and are as explosive as they were. And I think you're just rolling into a&M team who's kind of settling into who they are with their new quarterback with Reed. I think they have a good system going. I think, but Missouri going on the road, this is another team that we've talked about, just like with Ole Miss, hadn't played anybody on the road yet. The two teams that were good opponents in Boston College and Vandy, hats off of Vandy, have pushed you to the test. They pushed you to the limits to the end of the game where you had to come out with a win. Now you got to go to your first road game, and not only is your first road game, but now you got to go to a sold out College Station, which is loud as any station in the country can be, whether they're winning or losing. Cult like atmosphere. All I'm gonna say in this one, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm going to go with the numbers. I got A&M winning this one, and I actually have them winning it by I got them winning about field goal. I don't got a score prediction, but I think it could come down to a missed field goal by Missouri trying to tie it to go to another overtime game and being the deciding factor in this one. Give me A&M in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's really going to be a close game. I don't. I'm actually really impressed with A&M and where they've gone from this season, from where they started off to where they are now. But I don't know if they're there yet to beat this Missouri team. I think this game is going to be really nip and tuck. I think it's going to be a roller coaster on scoring. I think it's going to kind of be a high scoring game. But I do have Missouri taking this one by a small margin, like 2 to 3 points. I really don't think it's going to be much more than that. I think they could hit that field goal van that you're talking about, they're gonna miss. That's what I think could be the difference of this game because when I think of Ole Miss, I really don't think of anything too impressive yet. And I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm waiting for Cook. I'm waiting for Luther Burton to be the really guy that everybody wants him to be and go out there and make these plays that everybody's just been dying for. But I have not seen the efficiency or the consistency yet in Missouri. So this is a game where you're on upset alert. Can you get upset? Yes, because Texas A&M does to me have the more simpler identity. They're not the team that I think is going to be too complex to go out here and make the big plays to really get this job done, but I think they can grind it to get the win. But I think it's going to be kind of like a 27 to 24 to 25 type game in this type realm right here. I really don't think it's going to be anything too eye-opening, too looking at. It's a 12 o'clock game, so I think a lot of the favor is going to be in Missouri's atmosphere just because of that. Because if there's ever a chance where it's not loud, y'all will know this more than me. Y'all been to Texas A&M games. I don't know about 12 o'clock games when it comes to fans being truly loud and truly pumped up all game long. So I think that's what it has to be in order for them Texas A&M to bring this on top. I just don't think they're gonna have nothing to tank. So Missouri by 3.
I tell you this right now, they out there in the RVs right now. They camped out. You ain't got to worry about the atmosphere. The 12 man is going to be live. I don't have a lot of faith in either one of these two teams in regards to making it to the 12 team playoff. Even though A&M is ranked, Missouri is ranked, I don't think either one of these teams are good enough to be in the top 12. Um, I still have not seen it yet with Missouri. I think that they've been a little overhyped from the beginning. And I think the way they played the game of football in these first 4 or 5 weeks has kind of shown that they've been a little overblown because they have not put anybody away that was of the caliber of them. And they honestly hadn't played nobody yet. honestly, this will be the weekend that we see it. I do, just like the both of you guys, predict a close game, but I have A&M coming out on top, mainly because of the home field advantage. Missouri barely got it done at home against Vanderbilt, barely got it done at home against Vanderbilt at home. There's no way you squeak out a close game in College Station. So I got A&M by 10, regardless of what the score is, A&M by 10 in this one. And Missouri goes ahead. Look at their schedule. They go ahead and kind of fall. You know what I'm saying? The rocks kind of start tumbling backwards after this week, in my opinion, for Missouri. So I'm going to go ahead and call this their funeral.
All right. Hey, moving on to the next game, the 3:30 game, ABC. Georgia at home taking on Auburn. This is Georgia's bounce back, quote unquote, week after the fireworks show that they had in Tuscaloosa last weekend. Auburn, I think, is just, hey, this is a recipe for disaster for Auburn. You got Georgia ready to kind of prove themselves again. They are still top of the totem pole in the country and some of the elite teams in the nation, which I still think they are as far as talent wise. If you're Auburn, you've already taken a loss to Arkansas. Um, you just lost to Oklahoma. Now you got Georgia and Missouri on the road in 2 back-to-back weeks. I think it's just a recipe for success. I think Auburn is continuing to just fall. I think this is going to turn out to be a terrible season for Auburn when it's all said and done. Especially with the way Kentucky and Vandy are playing, and they're still on their schedule now. So give me Georgia in a big one. I'll take the 24 points, a 24-point favorite. It might be larger than that. I think this is one of those beat down games where they just kind of take their frustration out on the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. I think Georgia's going to bounce back. If you are a fan of us and you watched the Alabama-Georgia preview or reaction to the last week's, then I'm going to be a little bit nicer to Georgia fans in these next couple of minutes. But if you have not seen that video, go watch that one first before you see my take, because it's much more in favor of the dogs in this second right here, which I'm not a dogs guy. But to really make my point clear, I give Auburn one shot a season to do something and make me proud, and they effed it up last week by letting Oklahoma off the hook. I don't know why I even thought Auburn could do something, just because they are who they are. I don't like going for them, but I thought they could just sneak away with a win, and they couldn't do it. It was give rap for them for 3/4 of football, and they couldn't get it done. So boo Auburn. I hope Georgia, in the atmosphere that where they left Tuscaloosa, can continue that reign for the rest of the season, honestly, because I think it just benefits college football. I really want to see Georgia dominate this game from the beginning. No more slow starts, Kirby Smart. You got to get that out your team system. I about cussed at him just now. You got to get that out of the way. We cannot be that team no more with the 2 top dogs that are clearly above you this year in Texas and Bama. We cannot do any more slow starts. So we got to make sure our team is on point from the jump of this game. I think they're going to jump out on the dogs. I'll jump out on Auburn. Man, by 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. I really don't think it's going to be close early in this game or throughout the game. So I got Georgia winning big at home versus Auburn, mainly just because I just want to see Auburn just get pummeled for the rest of the year, because they messed up my prediction and I thought I had it three quarters through that game Saturday. So, man, F Auburn, go Dogs for this Saturday, and I got them winning big.
Y'all know I can't stand Auburn, but I'm going to say this. Hugh Freeze has the innate ability to draw up a game plan against a team that he's not supposed to beat. He's done it to Bama many, many times and kept it close. Peyton Thorne is now the guy. Now, they benched the starter, which is Peyton Thorne, and then the backup came in, they benched him for Thorne, and then they benched Thorne, and then they finally got a starting quarterback. Okay, and in my opinion, what they really have to do is get Peyton Thorne moving on the outside with his legs. Peyton Thorne can actually move. He runs the offense much better when he's rolling out right or left. He throws the ball nicely when he's rolling to the outside of his dominant hand. Also, long story short, I believe that Hugh Freeze can keep this game close for at least 3 quarters. Auburn is wounded. Hugh Freeze, believe it or not, in the state of Alabama, is about to be on the hot seat. And this is nowhere anyone thought Hugh Freeze would be coming into this season. looking at a potential hot seat. I say all this to say Hugh Freeze is capable of devising a game plan for one game. One game. And this may be his game to do it, to build confidence and faith back into the fan base as to he being the guy for Auburn. If Hugh Freeze lays an egg in this game, he gets on the hot seat. He's no longer a hireable coach, if you ask me, because he brings nothing to the table. I say all this to say Auburn has a chance to do something very, very, very special against a very good Georgia team that they got all the film on. All the film on, right? Again, the one thing that happened last weekend with Bama and Georgia is Bama forced Kirby Smart and company to show all their cards. You can't just go and grab new cards in 5 days after a game like you just played against Alabama. That was also a very physical game that they played. Okay. It was also a very mental game that they played. You can sit up here and tell me all day long that inside the Georgia locker room, they talk about this, what they call it, a moral victory. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all still lost. You know what I'm saying? You still lost, and you lost real good. Kirby Smart is a motivator. How good are you? I'm telling you, Hugh Freeze is going to throw the kitchen sink at Georgia this weekend. Auburn does not win this game at all. But I do believe that Hugh Freeze has a recipe to potentially stay in this game late to have a chance to win it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I got Georgia winning the game by 17 when it's all said and done. But I do think that Auburn keeps it close, and they keep it close enough to cause more commentary about Georgia and their potential issues, which at the end of the day will end up causing Georgia more bad than good when it's all said and done. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. Well, now 4:15, we got Vandy at home taking on Bama. Vandy, do not panic. You're going to get your ass beat on Saturday. It's going to happen. It's happened to plenty of people. Ask Wisconsin. Ask all these other people that it happened. Bama's going to roll in time. They're going to do what they're supposed to do to you. They're going to move on out the way. Just take it. Put your head down. Get out the way. Look forward to what you got after this game. Bama's gonna win it easy, but now you get to go on the road. You get to go get Kentucky, play a game like you played against Missouri. You can catch Kentucky. Kentucky's not that great offensively. You can catch them sleeping and get your win back, get your groove back. You got Kentucky, then you got Ball State. Get your winning streak going again. You win two, you lose two, you win. You know, you go back and forth. Build your momentum. Keep working on the stadium. Don't panic. You're gonna lose bad, but yeah, keep your head up. You'll be all right. Bama big in this one. Bama, go in there. Don't get nobody hurt. Do what you got to do. Work on whatever you got to really work on, which I don't think is a lot. Maybe, get some other defensive guys in there, get some backups in there, figure out what you want to do for a running back situation where you don't got to run Milroe as much. But yeah, I'll leave it to y'all guys. Bama's coming into this as a 23-point favorite. I think they clear that very easily. Don't get caught slipping though. That's the only thing I will say. Don't go into this game thinking it is the same old Vandy. You got an interesting South Carolina game. We're not gonna touch on that. We got an interesting game coming up after that. You come back home playing South Carolina at noon. Don't go to Vandy thinking the same old Vandy. Take notice of what they did to Mizzou, but still, you are that much better than Vandy. Go beat their ass. Move on to the next. Vandy, keep your head up. Take the ass whooping. Move on to the next. This game should be null and void. Go ahead.
Yeah, Van, I think you did a great job of giving Vandy their warning for the tornado coming down to them, because I don't think this is really about Vandy at all. I think this is all about Bama. Now, when I think of this Bama team, I don't think that there's any sleeping on this weekend. I think that they are totally revved up for the rest of the year. I think a loss could be something that humbles Bama, but I really don't think there's too many things that could derail Bama at this point in the season with the trajectory they're on after beating Georgia the way they beat Georgia. So to me, I think there's so much keys to this game, man. There's so you got to really just keep fine tuning this offense and make sure this defensive secondary is communicating with each other and being effective in that aspect back in. I think a big point you said, which is something I was going to agree to as well. We cannot run Jalen Milroe like that in this game. I think just because of who he is as a quarterback, he is going to run. But I really want to see our running backs and our offensive line move the football up and down the field. That's what I really want to see. I want to see a running clinic because that means two things. The game is going to be in our favor on the time of possession, and the game is going to be shorter than it should be in that atmosphere. And for defense, I really just want to see y'all turn. I want to see turnover after turnover after turnover. I want to see a dominant ball game by just making plays on the ball, being around the ball, swarming to the ball, and doing things that we saw early in the game last week against Georgia. I think if we do that early in this first half, I don't think many starters play the second half, if any. And I think going into the second half, really got to really up our depth because one key point that I did not mention really in our Bama Georgia reaction video was how Bama's secondary really got hurt. How I think Bama's secondary really got picked on at certain points in that game that I think it wasn't really too much starters that really got picked on outside of Keon Sabb. Disclaimer to Keon Sabb. Learn how to goddamn tackle. Learn how to goddamn cover somebody because you're such an aggressive guy that you can make the plays. You just don't make them. And I'm sorry. I saw you make at least 2 plays against Georgia that I was proud of. But for the most time, when Georgia was making big plays, there was a number 3 in a crimson jersey always around that big play. I do not want to see that anymore from Keon Sabb. I think this secondary has so many pieces, especially with the way that game ended, that can really make a statement for the rest of the season. And I think if the secondary gets locked down for Bama, man, this team is a national championship caliber team because the offense is national championship caliber. Defense is the match that which we got a long season to get that up to. But for this week right here against Vandy, Vandy has been shocking a lot of people this year. And I think Vandy has been a really a positive point to talk about this year because they have gotten better. But I think when they go up against a true SEC opponent, old Vandy's going to come out. They're going to come out. Missouri, to me, is not that top tier SEC opponent that's going to come out versus. They can scare Mizzou, and I think that's what they did. I wish they would have got that win just because I think it would have made this week so much more fascinating to talk about Vandy and Alabama. But I got Alabama huge in this game. I'm really going to actually give Vandy their props and saying I'm going to give y'all 17 points. I think y'all going to score 2 touchdowns and kick a little field goal at some point in this game. I'm going to give y'all that against Bama's secondary. But I got Bama scoring about 50 to 70 on these boards. And I think it's going to be a true track star race on this one, just because I think early in the game, Bama's offense is really going to try to be efficient. And I think that, man, if they start anywhere where they started against Georgia with no penalties and no turnovers early in this game, this is going to be over after the first quarter. But if they get in front of themselves and they shoot themselves in the foot, I can see Vandy staying around a little bit through second quarter. But I got Bama really in the third and fourth quarter, kind of like it did against USF, shooting the ball down the field, putting up 40 plus in this game. And I really got them getting close to 60 in this game just because I think the energy in Tuscaloosa going to Vandy is just so high and rolling. I mean, coming off of that game as a Bama fan, I got people that I never even know were Bama fans come and tell me roll tide. So I can only imagine what it's like in Tuscaloosa in that atmosphere right there. Just going to a game where you got a little dog that you can whoop up on them, get out of that game clean, and keep things rolling. Roll tide.
Yep, this is a recipe for Kalen DeBoer to do what he's been doing, is keep it vanilla. You know what I'm saying? And not give too much up. He can play his vanilla games, his game plan offensively and defensively, and still not show too much film going into Tennessee. I think that's his MO. He knows good and dog going well, regardless of what he calls offense, defense, special team. They're going to win this game. I don't think the outcome even matters to him as far as the point spread or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Bama's going to cover the point spread, 23 points. They're going to win this game huge. But that's not important to him. Kalen DeBoer is like, how much film can I not give you? You know what I'm saying? And he's going to have a chance to do that again this weekend against Vanderbilt and all they 13 fans in their new end zone or whatever we want to call it. So yeah, congrats Vanderbilt. You've arrived. You're playing the best team in the country. Get ready to fold.
All right, moving on to our night games. We got at 7:30 ABC. We got Arkansas at home taking on Tennessee. Tennessee's coming off the bye. Tennessee keep it rolling. Do what you got to do to keep this ship going in the right direction. Um, I really don't have too much to say about this game. I've heard a lot of talk the last couple of days about Arkansas. Oh, they should be what was a 5-0 team because they shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma State and they shouldn't have lost to A&M because they were winning in the fourth quarter and they gave up the late touchdown. I honestly don't see it. I don't see the consistency enough with Arkansas for them to come into this game and give a challenge to Tennessee. I do think I want to see, I don't want to say enough more efficiency from Nico in the passing game because he's passing the ball very well, but get it back to more well-rounded. You went to Oklahoma and you had a very telltale game where you dominated the entirety of the game, but the points weren't there. But get back running the ball, get your vanilla back. You've got 2 weeks before you got to take on Bama, and we'll get there when we get there, of course. But you've got Arkansas and then you've got Florida. You got these 2 weeks. Don't have any situation where you trip over your own feet before you get to the games you wanted to get to in this season. And I don't think this will be one of them. I got them winning this game big. I don't care how many fans Arkansas brings out for their night game of the year or whatever they want to call it. But Tennessee wins this one fairly easily. Give me a little more of a larger score than you had with Oklahoma, but go and dominate this game also. Keep it rolling. You're looking like a playoff team. Keep it rolling. Keep everything on the tracks. Keep your goals in front of you. You'll be all right. Tennessee gets this one.
Yeah, Tennessee coming off a bye. I got them winning huge in this game. I really got them being really efficient early on. I don't think it's something that Arkansas is really going to be capable of withstanding. Cause I mean, I just don't think Arkansas has it yet. I saw flashes early in the season where teams really didn't have film on them, where Arkansas can be competitive and can be, making big plays. But now I think people got the eye that they need on Arkansas. I don't think there's anything that's going to be shocking about them. I think just because it is a night game in Arkansas, it can be interesting early. But I think the way Tennessee takes the fat crowd out of the game is by putting up points early in this game and driving the football in long big plays like that, in big situations like that. So I really got Tennessee winning this one by significantly 3 touchdowns. I really don't know about the score's going to be for Arkansas side, but I got Tennessee getting back in that 40-point range. I think that the team is really going to kind of be pushing towards most of the season. And I think that Arkansas just isn't it yet. They're not there. And I think Tennessee's really trying to prove that they are there this year. So I think it's two teams on the totally opposite ends of the spectrum having a game against each other. And one team's going to dominate, the other one's going to sit back and just take it. Tennessee winning big. Go Vols.
I would have to agree 100%. As much as I like Sam Pittman as a coach, I like where he is. He's at the right school. He's just in the wrong conference. Tennessee is on an upward trajectory. Arkansas is on a downward trajectory. We can use science and physics and all these other things to talk about it or make it make sense. But Tennessee's going to win this game really, really big. And that's really all I got.
All right, then moving on to our last game. It's a night game. We got UCF going to take on Florida. In the swamp, UCF is a 2.5-point favorite as of Wednesday. I tell you what, it's gonna get ugly in Gainesville here really, really fast. Um, Central UCF is the number 2 rushing team in the nation, right? They come in and want to pound the ball and they want to take all your will out of a football game on the defensive side with their offense. They're coming off of a loss to Colorado, say all as you was. Maybe they just weren't up for the prime time moment of the lights and all the attention coming to them in that game. But I'll tell you what, with Florida right now, and Florida getting ready to go to Tennessee next week, and then you got Kentucky, and then you got Georgia, and then you got Texas, and then you got LSU, and then you got Ole Miss. It's about to get ugly really fast in Gainesville. And I've said it before, I said it the other week. I do not think Billy Napier makes it out of the season. I think it'll be a done deal before the season is over. Maybe give it another 2, 3 games, especially if they lose this game to UCF, which by the record, I do have UCF winning this game. I do not have Florida winning this game. Um, it's gonna get ugly, and we'll see what happens. It's a lot of dominoes that could be getting ready to fall in these coaching circles around college football right now. Give me UCF in this one. Florida do everything that they can. They look okay at times, but is just everywhere nationally ranked. They are not even close to the top 25, top 30 in any statistical category. And you're going into this game. It's a lose-lose game against a team who knows who they are and what they want to do to you. You see UCF will take this one.
I got two things on this game. That's all I'm about to get this game because I really don't want to waste my breath on this game. One, I don't think, as crazy as it might sound, I don't think Florida should fire their head coach during the season. I really don't. Because I think if they fire him during the season and the new coach, if they bring in a hire new coach or an intern coach comes in and goes to that gauntlet of a schedule that they're going to go into, I think it's going to cause more harm than any type of good. Try to let the head coach continue this season with whatever motivation he gave the team to finish it strong. And then once the season's over with, before bowl games even start, get him out of there. Have a rejuvenation moment. Have like a celebration moment to try to hype up these Florida fan base because you might be able to steal some recruits in the transfer portal, and you might be able to steal some recruits in the high school realm. That's the only way I see this ship kind of going the way it's supposed to be. Because to me, if you fire a head coach like you're about to fire this one, and it's going to happen at some point, there is kind of a rejuvenation period of like a fresh breath of fresh air. But if I go into the gauntlet of a season I'm about to go into, that breath of fresh air is going to turn sour real quick. So let this head coach stink it up all year long because there's really nothing you're going to win or gain from him doing it. Nothing at all. And then once he's gone before the bowl season even starts, I know you're not going to play for one, but before you watch one on TV, get him up out of there, rejuvenize this team in the offseason, and keep on moving forward. That's my first point. And my second point is what I really think about this game. Colorado beat UCF pretty dominantly, in my opinion. Congrats to Colorado. I believe Colorado can beat Florida. So that just tells you, that just shows you what I think about Florida in aspects of bottom of the totem pole type team. So just because of that aspect right there, I do got UCF taking this game. I actually got them winning in a decent margin. I got a late touchdown, just putting it too far out of reach for Florida in this game. But I think the only shining star you have is to really get behind that quarterback that you have in DJ Langway, because that to me is the only bright spot we have for this team. And if that's the only bright spot we have for this team, he's going to get the hell up out of there before it's all said and done because he's too talented, too much of a raw talent, too much of a game changer, in my opinion, for him not to have 100% of the snaps on offense. So, Graham Mertz, you've had plenty of seasons, plenty of years to show what you got. We've seen it, and it looks like the bottom of a used toilet paper tissue. It looks like crap. So we're not going to want to see it no more. We're not going to want to see it for the rest of the season. Move on, get out of this. I got UCF winning in a close margin by 10. Really don't care about the score. Really don't care about the statistics of the game. Just get in, get out, get it done, UCF. Take them home.
Yeah, it was crazy. I've got UCF win this game also 10, maybe even up to 17 points. The fact that Billy Napier has wasted Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz is this is my perspective. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be on an NFL roster next year, in my opinion. He will. Just watch and see. He's got talent. He's in the wrong place. Billy Napier, when he loses this game, the downward spiral continues. I agree with you, Drew. Leave him in place. Leave him in place because it can't get no worse, right? It really can't get any worse. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Lane Kiffin will be the coach of Florida next year. Now, What does that mean for Florida? Well, it means better recruiting. You'll win more games in a much more competitive SEC. But in regards to Lane Kiffin, everything is still the same. He may as well stay at Ole Miss because the results aren't going to change because he's never going to be able to elevate himself up to Sark and Debo and Kirby and Heupel and those guys. He's kind of trying to, but he never will. But it's the hire that Florida needs to make to try to rejuvenate the program. You know what I'm saying? And see what happens. But Lane Kiffin's going to always Lane Kiffin it wherever he is. That's just my prediction. But at the end of the day, this weekend, UCF, man, take it home, man. You go ahead and beat the opponent that you should beat. This is your time to beat an SEC team that you should beat. Go out there and do it.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. We'll definitely get to you. Check out our other videos and our other comments. I mean, our other content. And definitely hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. We'll probably have a review this Sunday. We will definitely put that out. But until then, we will catch y'all next time.